You're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Woo!
So I'm gonna go and let you talk to Victor Ortiz, all right? I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about?
What are you
talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO need to fire you. You don't know about boxing. You ain't You're not
Isn't it funny how racist people, they act so shocked, so surprised when you call them what they are? Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, guys, we just seen Floyd Mayweather versus Larry Merchant 2.0. Immediately following the LA press conference, Bill Haney, he does an interview with Todd Grisham, and he calls Todd Grisham a piece of shit to his face. Now, first of all, before I even get into this clip, I've been telling you guys about Todd Grisham for the longest. You see, the thing is, these old media reporters and old media boxing analysts, they often fly under the radar. And they know this, so they often take advantage of it by openly being as racially biased as possible. Todd Grisham is DAZN's blow-by-blow announcer, and he is hands down the worst, the most racially biased announcer in the sport today. Now, Chris Mannix is just as bad as Todd Grisham, but Chris Mannix is no longer calling the entire fight. He usually is just acting as the official judge or the unofficial judge on DAZN. So he just pops in periodically now just to give his scorecard. But this is the reason why I've been telling you guys that DAZN, they need to have an option where we don't have to listen to the biased commentary, and instead we could just listen to the sound of the punches. We could listen to the corners speaking to their fighters and the reaction from the crowd when punches are landed. You know, now some of you guys will say, oh, well, I don't listen to them anyway. I just turn down my audio. But once again, I want to hear the sound effect of the punches. I want to hear the crowd reaction, etc., etc. You know, Top Rank is already doing this. If you go to their channel, you'll see a lot of their thumbnails. It'll say no commentary in the thumbnail. So when it comes to Todd Grisham, almost whenever there's like an undefeated black fighter, I'm talking about someone who's relevant, right? And he's fighting someone who's not black. Listening to Todd Grisham's commentary is like reading comments on the internet from race fans. Todd is often implying that the black fighter is either boring or just constantly moving the goalposts. Whatever the black fighter does in the fight, if he's winning, he was supposed to do more. If the black fighter is winning every single round, then the question is, oh, well, how come he didn't get the knockout? If the black fighter gets the knockout, why did it take him so long to get the knockout? And by way of contrast, when it comes to the non-black fighters, Todd Grisham doesn't put this type of pressure on any of them. For them, as long as they get the W, that's all that matters. Okay, so with that summary out of the way, now we can get into this whole situation between Bill Haney and Todd Grisham in this interview.
Bill Haney is here, and your son is still the undisputed champion of the world. I know you want to get that out.
Youngest undisputed champion of the world, and you're full of shit.
Me?
You're full of shit. And I hope that this is what you guys wanted to do. It's a fucking circus act. Devin is a real fighter, and you showed no respect up there. You showed no respect for what he's done for boxing. He's a 2-division champion and undisputed champion, and you're a piece of shit.
Well, that's not kind of you to say.
Well, I mean, I'm just telling you the truth.
Well, why are the fans booing him then?
Now, this is funny because Bill Haney, he's pointing out how biased Todd Grisham is. And Todd Grisham, he actually proves Bill Haney's exact point by the way he just reacted. He reacts by saying, well, why are the fans booing you? Which fans? You're talking about the Mexican fans that don't mind Ryan Garcia being a racist and a cheater? Those fans? Not only does he ask this ridiculous question, but he asked the question in a rhetorical way. What Todd Grisham was basically saying to Bill Haney is the way I feel about your son is justified by the boos that we heard at this press conference. I mean, that's like somebody protesting against Nazis. And then the Nazis start to boo, and then Todd Grisham says, well, why are they booing you then? You must be the bad guy. And speaking of that, you guys noticed during the press conference, Todd Grisham, as he's asking or introducing Devin Haney to the crowd, the first thing he does is reminds Devin Haney that the crowd was booing him. The only reason you would do that is because you like the fact that Devin Haney is being booed, because you feel the same way about Devin Haney that they feel.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Well, why are the fans booing him then?
Well, I mean, that's because a part of it. We are in LA. This is a great boxing market, right? But it's made up predominantly of Hispanic fans that cheer for Ryan Garcia, and that's quite all right.
Well, it's okay. It's okay to be the bad guy.
But listen, and it's okay to be the bad guy, but it's not good for you to be the piece of shit that you are.
Well, explain what you mean by that.
Well,
What did I do specifically?
Well, you didn't describe him for who he was.
Michael Buffer introduced him.
No, but you on the stage, you painted Ryan Garcia as if he's won something. He's a PED drug cheat. You never said that that's really.
I did.
I
asked your son specifically if the punishment fit the crime. I asked your son that specifically, and he said he was at peace at it.
Did you guys just hear Todd Grisham completely lie? Bill Haney said you never called him the drug cheat that he is. And Todd Grisham straight up said, I did. He said, I asked Devin, did the punishment fit the crime? Todd didn't even acknowledge that Ryan Garcia tested positive for PEDs. The reason why Todd said it the way he did, because he didn't want to tell people that Ryan Garcia tested positive for PEDs, he had 2 failed tests, etc. While Todd was asking if Devin Haney can now take a punch after the punishment he suffered in the first fight, he should have also asked Ryan Garcia, can you win this fight without PEDs in your system? Or he could have also asked Ryan, is Ryan worried that maybe Devin Haney goes into this fight and after the very first round, we see that he's no longer the same fighter because of the punishment that he suffered in the first fight while you were on PEDs? Are you worried you won't get credit if you win under those circumstances? We all know that Todd Grisham and the rest of the race fans, they don't care that Ryan Garcia cheated. They look at it as a victory. They are just happy Ryan Garcia was able to knock down Devin Haney multiple times, no matter what he was on. And these were also the same fans, including Todd Grisham, that was accusing Devin Haney of being a cheater, calling him a weight bully. At least this is something that Todd Grisham and Chris Mannix would imply.
That's really
I did. I asked your son specifically if the punishment fit the crime. I asked your son that specifically, and he said he was at peace at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the punishment is one thing, but how you describe what that fighter is and what he is, you didn't do.
Okay, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I have the most respect for your son. I think he's amazing at it.
I don't think that you do. I think that you are political, right?
Political is a code word. That's just a nice way of calling him a racist. Now, naturally, Todd Grisham, he's going to try to defend himself and say, oh, no, I have all the respect in the world for Devin Haney. Then he says, I think he's amazing. All the Devin Haney fights that Todd Grisham has covered, and he has never called Devin Haney amazing. Now, Sergio Mora, on the other hand, even though he flip-flops and sometimes Sergio Mora, he will kind of cater to, Todd Grisham and Chris Mannix's agenda. But other times, he'll be on the opposite end of the spectrum, and he will actually praise a fighter like Devin Haney. He's actually said things similar to amazing when it comes to describing Devin Haney.
You did just what you wanted to do, and you got it off. I mean, and that's what this promotion has been about. But number 9.
But we're trying to sell a fight here. You know this, right?
Well, you sell it right.
All right, here's your chance to sell it.
Right. You sell it right. March 2nd, Devin will come in, and he's going to be what he's going to be a better version of Devin Haney, just like he said.
There you go. Still feel that way about me? Come on. Give me a hug.
No.
All right.
No,
Come on, Bill. You're just talking. All right. He's out here.
No.
All right. Back to you guys. May 2nd.
And then he got the nerve to ask for a hug. That's that guilt. That's all that is that guilt. He never expected somebody to actually expose him for who he is. It's so funny how things work, because all those times that, once again, Todd Grisham was being extremely biased calling fights, nobody checked him for that. He was flying under the radar. And the one time he hosts a press conference and he's on stage, that's when he gets exposed. This situation is so analogous to the Joe Rogan situation. All those podcasts that Joe Rogan did where he was calling black people monkeys, the N-word, saying that black people don't have the same brain that a white man has. Joe Rogan, he was using every Nazi talking point you can think of. And somehow, all of that stuff he said flew under the radar. It wasn't until he started talking about COVID that he got exposed, and everything else that he said in the past was dug up. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up, but I want you guys to go. I challenge all you guys to go watch DAZN fights. Watch all of DAZN fights where Todd Grisham is calling the fight, which are the majority of them, and watch the fights that involve very talented, undefeated black fighters. Fighters like Andy Cruz, for example. Watch the Crawford versus Madrimov fight. Listen to how they call the David Morrell versus Hot Rod fight, and many other fights. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, fever blisters, diabetic ulcers, this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called Elo Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to elodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com.